Hello guys, today we're going to be continuing the PT series with listening part. For other parts of the PT test, please click on the link below for detailed guidance on how to get a high score for each part in the test. Now let's get straight to listening, shall we? Listening is the last part that you have to deal with in the PTE, and as you can see, there is 8 sections in this part. Quite a lot, huh? What you need to keep in mind for this listening part is that you need to know what other important sections, because not all sections are important and worth reviewing, especially if you only study in a limited amount of time. In that case, it is very important to know which parts need more time to focus on. Therefore, among these 8 sections, what you need to put more time and effort on are summarize spoken text, fill in the blank, highlight incorrect words, and last but not least, write from dictation. Why do I say you don't need to spend more time on the other 4 sections? Firstly, because it's not only difficult, but it also offers the least point. For example, each of the correct answer in choose multiple answers, you only get 1 point. Why you have to listen and analyze the whole long passage. But on the other hand, if you study well and did 1 correct answer in write from dictation, you can get a maximum of 14 points just for 1 question. 1 point and 14 points for the same 1 question. What do you think? Besides the 4 important parts, you can find or buy the question banks to practice, and I'm sure it will help a lot. Now, let's go to the first part, summarize spoken text. In this summarized spoken text, you will hear a short audio, and after that, you will need to write a summary about the interview or a lecture that you just heard from the audio. You should write 50 to 70 words and you have 10 minutes to do so. So those are the basic requirements of these sections. Listening to the audio, write a summary, 50 to 70 words in 10 minutes. Okay? Now, let's go to how this part is scored. Remember, the computer is the one that scores you, so it is very important to follow this. The first one is form, 2 points. So as long as you write between 50 and 70 words, you get 2 full points. Grammar, 2 points. So try to use simple grammar and avoid mistakes. Do not overcomplicate it. Spelling, 2 points. Always remember to double check the spelling. It is very important. It's the thing that I always have to remember, because if you have 1 spelling mistake, you lose 1 point. So only write what you are sure, because let's imagine if you write 1 word with wrong spelling twice, you already lost 2 points. Okay, the next one is content, 2 points, and vocab, 2 points. These 2 criteria covers the keywords, the ideas that you can catch while you're listening. So while you're listening, try to catch as many words and as many ideas as you can. So what you can do in this part. Step 1, of course, listen to the audio and take note. That's right, taking notes is the most important skill in this part. Try to take notes at least 40 words to build a 70-word summary. And as I always said, ideas is always better than words. Try to take notes the whole ideas if you can. Now, let's do one example so I can clarify in a better way. Okay, first we're going to hear a short audio, and while we're listening, we'll take notes as well.
Okay, to understand what vitamin D does, we need to understand the central concept. The function of vitamin D is to maintain blood calcium. You probably think the function of vitamin D is to maintain strong bones and teeth, but it does that by accident. Its real function is to maintain your blood calcium level in a very narrow range. And the reason for that is if your blood calcium level falls below about 9 milligrams per 100 milliliters, then you're longing to be in a big trouble and die rather quickly. And that's because blood calcium is important for muscle contraction and nerve transmission. And if you don't have enough of it, you can't contract your muscles normally. There can't be normal nerve impulses. And this results in a disease called tetany, where you can get those uncontrolled convulsions followed by rapid death. Calcium is also important for enzymic activities and blood clotting.
Okay, 37 words. Not too good, but not too bad. Now we're gonna build a 50 to 70 word summary based on these words and ideas that I just take notes. Okay, what I do is I'm going to use a filter. First word. Clear that off. Okay, now from this words, its keywords and ideas, I have to form a complete sentence. That one. Okay, done. Strong bones and teeth maintain blood calcium. I think that's one done. Okay. Okay. Muscle contractions and nerve. I'll double check the spelling is good. It's 68/70, so it's perfect on form. Now I want to read again. The topic of this lecture is about what vitamin D does. The function of vitamin D is to maintain blood calcium. It also helps to maintain strong bones and teeth. If your blood calcium falls below 9 milligrams, you will rather die quickly. Okay, I use very basic and simple grammar, you see, so I can avoid any mistakes. That is how you do a summarized spoken text. You listen, you take note what you can, and then you build complete sentences from those you already take notes. And then you combine those sentences into like a whole summary. And always to make sure to double check word count, spelling, no spelling mistakes, no grammar mistakes. Okay, so this is how you build sentences based on the ideas that you already took notes. But if you can only take like keywords, not the whole sentences, you can use filters. You can use like template. I can give you the template. Here, first, those are already 27, so you only need 25 words to make sure that you have enough 50 words to cover the summary. Not too bad now, right? All right, so that's how you do a summarized spoken text. I hope you can practice this at home. It's very important to practice listening and take notes because those are the very important skills in this part. All right, now let's move to the next part, which is fill in the blank. Fill in the blank is quite straightforward. You will hear a recording, and as you hear it, you will type the missing words in each blank. Easy as it may sound, please remember to follow the line and type as you listen. Do not focus on spelling just yet. Type out what you can hear so you can understand and fix it later, but do not lose the track on what the audio is playing. Let's do one example.
And that brings us to the CEO's second duty, building the everyone, or more accurately, building the senior team. All the executives report to the CEO, so it is the CEO's job to hire, fire, and manage the executive team. From coaching CEOs, I actually think this is the most important skill of all, because when the CEO hires an excellent senior team, that team can keep the company running. When a CEO hires a poor senior team, the CEO ends up spending all of their time trying to deal with the team and not nearly enough time trying to do the other elements of their job. The senior team can and often does develop the strategy for the company, but ultimately it's always the CEO who has the final go, no-go decision on strategy.
Okay, after the audio finish, we'll go back to fix it. Everyone hire. So you see when I take notes, it doesn't have to be like correct with the spelling because you have to like do it quick and follow the rest of the audio. Now we're gonna go back and fix it. This one coaching. Spending. Try to take notes so that you can understand your own writing and you can fix it later. Develop. Check the spelling one more time. Everyone to hire. Check the verb form, S or no S. Coaching, expand and develop. See the answer. So it's correct. After doing some of the reviewing, I drew some experience. Most of the missing words are easy, not too difficult. But it will trick you with single plural forms or past tense. If you can't hear it while you listen, you may end up being confused and guessing, which most of the time I did was wrong. So what I do is I try to listen to the end of the words because the word itself is normally easy. So I try to focus on the end part. So S or no S, ED or no ED, verb ing or no verb ing. If at the end I cannot hear it, then I go back and check the grammar or the context to decide the answer. One correct answer, you get 1 point. And remember, even 1 point is pressured. Yeah, so at this part is easy. Now let's do another example. And this time, just pay attention to the end of the words.
Well, in 2004, we integrated ticketing in southeast Queensland. So we introduced a paper ticket that allowed you to travel across all the three modes in southeast Queensland, so bus, train and ferry. And the second stage of integrated ticketing is the introduction of a smart card. And the smart card will enable people to store value, so to put value on the card and then to use the card for travelling around the system.
Okay, so here I heard introduced. Okay, so obviously it has ed in it. Introduced. And check back on the grammar. So we say it has, so we have introduced, so correct on the grammar as well and correct on the listening as well. So it's good here. So I could hear mode, but what I try to focus on is the end of the word. So I hear sound, which modes, and it's 3 modes. So definitely correct, modes. Train and ferry. This one, I noticed there's no S in it. So I'm pretty sure. So I need to be sure. I don't want to be confused or I don't want to guess at the end. So I try to notice at the end of the word so I don't need to guess. Because I hate that. Because whenever I guess, I was wrong. So I try to focus at the end of the words, S or no S. So I notice that there's no S on it. And there's bus, train, and ferry. Bus, no S, train, no S, and ferry, no S. So correct on the grammar as well. Makes sense. So after you listen, I know that you might believe in your listening, but just double check on the grammar as well. Is it make sense? Is your result that you typed out make sense on the grammar or the context of the listening? Try to check back on the grammar as well and the verb form, yeah, to make sure that you get the correct answer. Okay, that's pretty much what you need to remember about this part. There will be 3 to 4 questions like this in the test. So practice before you go and you will do just fine. Now let's go to highlight incorrect words. Just like fill in the blank, in this part you simply just need to follow the text as it's placed to detect the incorrect words. Every time you hear a wrong word, you click on that word and it will go black, means it counts. Try to focus on listening. The incorrect words will spread across the text, so don't be too worried. But still, try to keep track on the text as it's playing, okay? Now, let's do one example. You'll see how I do it. It's pretty easy. In the text, it's exactly like that.
And at some remote period of the Earth's history,
everyone is interested in improving their diet. Adding grains is one of the easiest ways. Many people in the United States have a growing concern about nutrition, so grains are often served in restaurants. And many grains are now available in grocery stores too. Though for some, you still have to go to health food stores. You can stock up when you go, though, because uncooked grains keep a long time. You'll find that grains are easy to prepare. Many grains are as simple to cook as spaghetti. Barley, for instance, is just cooked in salted water. Remember, though, whole grain barley, the most nutritious kind, never will get as tender as spaghetti, no matter how long it's cooked. Grain-based salads are easy, too. Just use grains left over from a hot meal. You can even put together a grain salad hours before you need it, since grains don't wilt like lettuce does. But to get back to health factors, all grains are nutritious and many have special benefits. Barley has very little fat. Some experts believe that it may even reduce cholesterol levels. Jasmine rice is also low in fat, and it has a bonus in its wonderful aroma, a very special fragrance.
That's how you do it. Easy, right? Every time you heard an incorrect word, you click on the mouse and it will go black, so it counts. When it's finished, click next to move on the next part. Here we are at the most important part of the listening test. This is the part that can give you the most important point for listening, and it has question banks so you can practice at home. In this part, you will hear a sentence, and after that, you have to write exactly what you hear. Let's do one example.
These books can be borrowed for a maximum of 3 weeks.
One correct word, you get 1 point. So if the sentence is like this, you can get up to 11 points. 11 points just for one question. How great it is, right? The other good thing about this part is that you can write even the words that you are unsure of. For example, so if I'm not sure it has S or not, I'll write both words. If I'm not sure it's these or this, I'll write both words. 3 weeks, I'm not sure weeks have S or not, I'll just write both words. As the computer only score on the correct one and do not give you a negative point for the incorrects, you can add about 3 or 4 words of that kind. This doesn't matter, this will count in the text. So I got all the words correctly, and everything that's go green, I got 1 point. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 3 as well. So 11 point for this. There are so many techniques to do this part. You can practice taking note the initials while you hear it and complete it later, or try to understand the meaning and write it back. Whatever works for you. This you can learn while you practice what method best suits you. For my own personal experience, I do it a bit differently. As I see the first half of the sentence is normally easy, So I try to push my memory to the later part. You understand what I mean? I know it's pretty hard to understand because if I try to listen and take note the first half, I will stuck on that and forget the later part even when I can completely hear it. My brain just forgot. So I let my brain skip 2 or 3 first words because I know I will remember eventually and try to take note on the later part of the sentence.
A new collection of articles has just been published.
So I'm not sure articles or articles, so I've just got articles, both of them has just, so a new has is correct. It's just been published. A new collection of articles has just been published. Okay, let's check the answer. Correct. So it's articles. So lucky I got 2 of this, right? I write both article and articles so that I got it correct. So don't worry, if you're not sure, you just write both of the options that you have, that you confuse. That is the good thing about this part. Okay, so that's how I do it. Let's do one more example so you can clear up on that. I'll just hurt the later part. I've just take note on the later parts because the first part is easy.
The digital camera has some advantages over traditional film.
The digital cameras, so I'm not sure. Cameras, I'll just write 2 of them. Has or have some additional advantages over the traditional film or films. See, I'll write both of the options. The digital cameras have some additional advantages over the traditional films. Let's check. See, I had no missing words, which is good. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 points. Complete 9 points, which is good. That's how I do the write from dictation, the most important part for listening tests. There you go, all 4 important parts of the listening test. Please watch it again and use them to practice. And don't forget there's a links of other skills below too. We'll get to reading soon. Thanks for watching and I'll see you next video. Bye!